And welcome to the super fun, awesome, happy time pedal show. My name is Gabor, and today I'm looking at some more stuff with the Line 6 HX Stomp. So recently there was an update to the 3.70 firmware. There's a video I kind of want to look through it, like a first impressions kind of video. And one of the amps on there, I think, which maybe a lot of people may overlook or will overlook, is actually a bass amp that was released. But that's kind of for guitar, or works well on guitar as well. So I thought let's have a quick look at it today. So the amp, and I'm going to do it on the screen because I've got this here, but it's easier to do it on the screen. The amp I want to look at today, and let's stick it, I don't know, it's there somewhere. The amp I want to look at today is under the bass section, and it is where it is, US Dripman Nrm. So it's basically a Bassman, Fender Bassman amp. The original Bassman amp, it's called a Bassman because it was originally meant as a bass amp. And this is sort of an old Bassman amp, and I think it sounds really, really cool. And actually also, but I'm going to do it on a separate thing, the matching cabinet sounds really quite good. So if we're going for the, where is it, 2x15 Dripman. So let's look at that and then maybe build a little patch around it and see how we go with that. So what I thought for today, just for something a little bit different to most of my videos recently, I'm going to use this guitar. Now this is my guitar when I used to do electric guitar gigs all the time. This is sort of my main gigging guitar. This is the first parts guitar I ever put together. With this body, Swamp Ash body, an MJT neck, these Simo Duncan Antiquity, God, my brain doesn't work, Antiquity 1, the 50 style Antiquity 1 pickups, which I put in here, Mastery Bridge, Mastery Vibrato, yeah, and it's the first sort of parts guitar put together, and I really, really liked it. It sort of started me going on parts guitars. Now this, just with the default settings, so I should do the setup as well, the signal chain. So I've got this cable going into my Peterson Strobostom tuner that's on my desk. From there it goes straight into here, and then in stereo out straight into my Audient ID44 interface and straight into Logic. So this is what it sounds like, just with the default Dripman setting and the default Dripman cabinet, 2x15 cabinet setting. It's maybe a bit quiet. Let's turn the volume up here. And let's maybe turn the master's all about channel volume. Let's crank the channel volume a bit. So it comes quite distorted, right? Straight out of the box. So let's get rid of a little bit of drive. Let's keen it up a little bit. Maybe it's also turn the bright switch off. That sounds way better straight away. Now, let's go to the cabinet. We've got a 2x15. It's got a 57 condenser on it at the moment. Let's maybe change a mic. Let's try it a few different mics, like a 121 dynamic, 421. I think that's already a bit better. Let's try out, I don't know, what about a 7 dynamic? Let's just go through some mic. So far, the 421 sounds the best. New. A bit too dark, the ribbon. Quite like the 414. Gotta say, for me, it's probably between 421. I think the 421 has the most clarity. Maybe we can turn the volume up a little bit here too. So I'm looking not super clean amp, I'm looking vintage style edge of breakup sort of sound. Now maybe the next thing we can do is muck around with the position, so it's got a bit closer to the center. Probably Just around here, it gets that sort of top end, which is quite nice. I like distance, so let's check out a bit more distance. That sounds pretty good. Let's go angled. To me, that sounds pretty good. But what I'm going to do, which is where I think it really sort of shines to me, instead of going single, I'm going to go dual now. So now we have, on one side, we have that, and again, all the settings have changed. So let's go back to, what was it here? 421. Even though that sounds pretty good. But now let's go to the other one. This is a 2x12 jazz rivet, so it's, I guess, like... Yeah, I don't particularly want to use this. Let's stick with the basement thing. Let's go, what about 4x10, where is it? Tweed. So we've got the two 15s and a 4x10. But again, now let's look at different mics. So let's maybe check out... I don't mind that. That gives a bit of body to it. I don't mind that one. I like the ribbon mics because they're a bit darker. Ooh. I like that one, 414 condenser. So we're putting the 414 condenser on the 4x10. Sounds good. Now let's try the thing where we maybe pan it, maybe not all the way, but let's pan it, I don't know, 30 and the other one 30. So it's a bit panned, but not super panned. Maybe let's give this a little bit more distance as well. That sounds pretty good, actually. Maybe let's bring the level up a little bit. Let's go plus 2 dB. One thing to always check with this, so if I go to Logic when I'm recording this, so you made one side a bit louder because it was a bit uneven. But now it looks like they're more even in output. So, and I'm looking at my interface here as that, so I can see the, you know, volume is a little bit more even. So that's pretty good now. One thing I always really like with this is you go, and we're doing that, I'm going to put it after. But maybe, yeah, maybe just one after. You go to the reverb, and let's do it in stereo because we're in stereo. Why not? Let's go in stereo. The dynamic ambience. And just the default setting. Now if I turn it off, sounds great to me. That's really good. I don't know. The dynamic ambience always adds life to it. To me, that you need to have a bit of space. There needs to be room. When you hear any amp, if any of these amps is plugged into a speaker in the room, you hear some of the room sound. That's part of the tone. It's not totally dead. Having a little bit of that ambience, it just adds vibe to it and life to it. To me, that sounds great. So as a sort of slightly overdriven clean now on the bridge. That's a great sound. Now, what I would also add to it, and let's add it after it, is let's add some more reverb, just a little bit of reverb, but let's add some, and again, let's go stereo. Let's see how much we can do until we max out all the DSP on here. Let's go, what about a dynamic plate? Pretty good to me. Maybe turn the mix down ever so slightly. To me, I like that sort of sound. What I might even do is maybe just turn the drive up ever so slightly. That sounds great to me. I think I wouldn't change anything with that. So got like a bass sound now. Yeah, leave the gain round about somewhere there. I think that sounds pretty good to me. Now maybe let's stick, I don't know, let's stick an overdrive in front of it. Let's stick, again, let's see what we have. The overdrive doesn't need to be stereo. What about, let's try the new one, the prize drive. Sounds pretty good to me, but let's try. What about? I use a King of Tone a lot. That's sort of one of my things when I play live. It's maybe a bit more open of a sound. 18 volt as well. Now it's got a higher clipping. Tone maybe down ever so slightly. Sounds pretty good. Let's save it to here, hey? So that's enough for switch. again, going for something a little bit sort of vintage kind of sounding. Maybe now let's stick I don't know, let's stick a delay in between here maybe. Let's stick a... and let's go stereo. So let's see how much we got. So yeah, we're starting to max it out a little bit. What can we use? What about... well, because we're stereo, let's go ping pong, hey? Actually, let's go vintage digital. That's quite a nice delay. Trail should always be on. Let's make this shorter, maybe like 350. Feedback up a bit, mix maybe down ever so slightly. Maybe let's go 10. Bit darker. With the drive. Maybe bring the mix down even a bit more. Mix is always a funny thing because what seems like when you're in a room by yourself, what seems like a lot of delay, then you get in a live scenario and it disappears and you always got to bring the mix up a bit again, but bit more modulation. That just darkens it, doesn't it? Yeah, 16 is pretty good. So let's save that to here. Sounds pretty good. Maybe I've got one more switch. Let's add one more thing. Let's add some modulation. Let's maybe move that after the drive. What do we have? Modulation in stereo. Or let's even... What about a tremolo? And let's put it after the amp, like a tremolo in an amp. But let's see if we can make it stereo as well. Well, there's not a lot left. Or actually, let's make it mono. It should be right mono, shouldn't it? Harmonic tremolo, that could be nice. With delay as well. I want to delay maybe. I do want it a bit longer because it's sort of like a ta-tan, ta-tan, ta-tan. There's two. Yeah, that's maybe a bit better. And maybe a little bit more feedback. It's quite nice. Let's see, what other tremolos are there? Optical trem? That's quite pretty. Normal tremolo. Phaser vibe. Oh, vibe. Well, I think I'm going to stick with the 60s bias tremolo. Sounds good. quite pretty. Let's make it, actually, I usually have, I usually have the delays on the right. So let's move the delay to here. So drive, tremolo, delay. Can change. Let's say we want something a bit more gainy. What about like a rap? Right, so that. What if we want a super overdrive? What if we want a fuzz? It all works. What about, I don't know, Timmer? I mean, whatever drive you want to take, but in the end... Then you could always also do snapshots and have a snapshot with more drive. Sorry, I want to go back to here and then maybe use a more of a boost kind of sound. So what if we do use an air apparent boost setting, turn the gain down and just crank the level a bit. Pick and choose your overdrive, you pick and choose how much gain you want. I just find it's an amp I kind of mucked around with a little bit when after I finished a video on the where I looked through all the new stuff in the 3.7 update, and it's a pretty cool amp, and it's actually that 2x15 amp cabinet that comes with it, the cabinet that's part of the that bass amp, the Dripman cabinet. It's a good sounding cabinet, but I think it for guitar, especially if you mix it with a guitar cabinet, another guitar cabinet. I mean, you can use it 4x12, you can use a 2x12, a 1x12. I always have a thing for 4x10s. When I use, I don't know if you ever watch any other videos of mine, when I use the two notes here, I always use Celestion IRs, which actually, these IRs. And and it's a combination of a 4x12 cabinet and a 4x10 cabinet, a 4x12 angle cabinet, and a 4x10 Celestion cabinet, which, by the way, there are links. There is a link in the description below to Celestion. It's an affiliate link, so if you click on that link and go and buy any IRs, you don't have to buy the ones I use, but any IRs, you help at the show. So, but anyway, I use that combination of that 4x12 and that 4x10 because I really like live. I used Fender Hot Rod DeVille for many years, which is a 4x10 amp, and I really got to like a 4x10 cabinet, and I still do like it, even with high gain. If you use the angle and stuff like that on really full high gain, that combination of the 4x12 cabinet and a 4x10 cabinet, it just gives you the best of both worlds and works really well. So I find it works really well in here. Anyway, check it out at home. See if you play around with it, muck around with the different microphones, the distances. I do really think that that dynamic ambience thing makes a humongous difference. I have it on pretty much all my presets I have on here because I really like it. And then overdrive, modulation, delays to taste, really. Cool. So thank you so much for watching this. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.